now and then I like to pick up some Gundam Converge figures, and the ones that I've picked up most recently are the Gundam and the Zaku from Cucuruz Doans Island. So let's pop over to the desk and open them up. So here we go. Here are the two Gundam Converge figures that we're going to have a look at today. We have the RX-78-02 Gundam Cucuruz Doans Island version, and we have the MS-06F Cucuruz Doans Zaku. So as far as I know, these are the only two Gundam Converge figures from the movie. Everything else in this lineup specifically wasn't related to it, and as I say, I don't think that there were any further Zakus or anything from the movie made into Gundam Converge yet, at least. So let's open these two boxes up and then have a look inside and see what we've got. Okay, so these boxes are always a box collector's worst nightmare. It's very difficult to open them up without any damage. But the first one that we're going to look at is the Gundam. So let's open it up and take a look inside and see what we have. Okay, so this has been a little bit of a current trend normally, and you have to let me know, do all Gundam Converge figures come with the chewing gum or not? I'm not 100% sure. Again, I think this one might be for the UK market or for sale outside Japan, so I'm thinking this might not have the chewing gum in, and this one might do because it doesn't have that sticker on, but we shall see. So we get quite a lot of accessories with this guy this time. The other RX Gundams that I've opened up haven't come with quite as many. So let's slice these bags open and have a full look at the accessories. Okay, so we have the stand as normal. So we actually have a couple of parts on a little runner here, so that will require snipping out. That's for the backpack for beam sabers. We have the V-fin as normal, which is quite rigid, so we'll leave that to one side until everything else is assembled. We have an alternate hand here, which I haven't had before. Obviously there is some articulation in the hand, so not 100% sure why you'd want a closed fist, just to display with the shield, I suppose. So we'll just leave that over there for now. Obviously we've got a couple of beam sabers. I think this is the first time that one of my Gundam Converge RX-78s has come with beam sabers, so that's quite nice to see. And then of course we have the shield and the beam rifle. So just get a pair of nippers and we'll nip those out. Okay, so as you can see, I've got some little nubs and stuff on here, so I'm just going to clean these up as well. Okay, so with the nubs cleaned up, obviously it's always a little bit of a shame, but this is why it's good not to paint on the runner, because as you can see on the ends here, we now have like these black parts where they should be nice and white. But I'm going to assume that that goes in. Okay. So these parts don't necessarily, so this is the parts that you would use for the beam sabers if you have the beam sabers deployed. That makes sense. So we'll leave those on there because I'm not going to have the beam sabers in. As you can see, these are sided, so we need to make sure that we put those in the right way. It says. When you're pushing things in like this as well, this is why it's always best to not put the V-fin on yet, because a slight slip could end in some disaster. Okay, so those are those in. I think what I might do, just for a bit of fun, we'll change that over to a closed fist like that. Then we're going to have the beam rifle in that hand, and then obviously let's not forget that with the shield, the RX-78-02 always has it upside down. Ooh, that's a tight fit, like so. I mean, obviously if you really wanted to, could display it up that way if you wanted normal, but we'll go with the correct anime way, which is to have it that way like that. And then finally the V-fin, being careful not to break anything. And there we have it. There is the Cucuruz Doans Island version of the RX-78-02. Quite a nice colour scheme this. Obviously it's got like the very classic kind of sort of like slightly greenish white rather than a pure white, which I've always kind of liked with the old design. It just makes it look a little bit more interesting than normal white. But yeah, there we go. So that is the Gundam done. Let's move this guy to one side and have a look at the Zaku. And here is the Zaku. So once again, no chewing gum. Perhaps they've stopped that now. Not that I'm massively disappointed, because I was never too fussed about the chewing gum anyway. Yeah, far less accessories in here than with the Gundam. But then again, Cucuruz Doans Zaku never really came with too much stuff anyway, because obviously it's a bit more of a repair unit. So you can see got some nice detail here, obviously sort of like where the armour was a little bit damaged in the movie. You can see obviously that's been quite faithfully recreated. Obviously the shoulder spike section there doesn't come off. I believe you probably, looks like you could take the shield off if you wanted to. Hands have a little bit of articulation. Obviously you can take that hand out and replace that one with the heat hawk, which I think today we might do. There we go, because actually looks quite nice. I haven't had a Zaku with a heat hawk of the Converge line yet, so that actually looks quite nice with that translucent part on the edge. And obviously, as is typical with Cucuruz Doans Zaku, we have a bit more of a droop snoot there. Wonder if, can you turn the mono eye? I think. Ah, you can, look at that. That's got to mean you can turn it surely. Yeah, you can. It's quite stiff. I always like mine looking dead ahead anyway, so that's cool. So you can turn the mono eye with these. I can't remember if I actually checked that out on mine. Charles Zaku from the last one that I unboxed, but that's cool. So yeah, there we go. There is Cucuruz Doans Zaku. Bring the RX-78 back in there to have a look at the pair. So yeah, they make quite a nice pair actually, to be honest with you. I'm quite glad that I picked these up. As I said in my previous videos, I'm not looking to go all in on the line and pick up every single one, but some sort of like favourite designs, or if I find them cheap, I'm quite happy to pick them up because they are quite cool little figures. It was mainly the Zaku that I wanted, to be honest with you, because obviously because of his like droop snoot there, but then obviously I saw the RX-78-02 as well, and it's pretty much the same price. I just thought I'd go for both of them as a pair. But yeah, there we go, the Gundam Converge Cucuruz Doans Island pair of figures.